Thank you so much for joining us this evening on the second anniversary of the terrible catastrophe, the triple meltdown at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plants, and the great tsunami where over 20,000 lives were lost. By the way, my name is Linda Seeley, and I'm on the board of the San Luis Obispo Mothers for Peace, and the Mothers for Peace are the people who are hosting this event this evening at the Steinberg Gallery in San Luis Obispo. And Peter Steinberg has been very kind in offering his space to us to commemorate this tragic anniversary. So I'm here with Zette Harbour, who is a storyteller extraordinaire and the creator of the 1,000 Paper Cranes sculpture. And I'm going to talk to her about the 1,000 Paper Cranes this evening. So.
Thank you, Linda. It's very exciting to be here. And it's exciting to bring the sculpture out and let people see it again and to experience it, to reach people who probably haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's when you see it, it's very stunning. It's very, not only beautiful, but because each one is different, it reminds us about how different each person is and how precious each life is. And so and each one of them is handmade. And so the experience is really astounding to having taken part in it myself. But I want to ask you a few questions, Zette. Why? Why cranes?
Well, let's see, I guess last year in April, I was at a Montessori United Nations conference with my daughter. She was participating as a delegate from Haiti, and they were discussing issues that were very real and very important around the world, and they learned a lot. And what I noticed was the kids each would come up with ideas for resolutions, but many of those resolutions didn't take into account that every culture has a story. And the story is what creates the situation. And so it's when you aren't able to understand one another's story, you aren't able to live alongside another's story, that makes peace impossible. So it inspired me. I was working on a storytelling festival, and it inspired me to call the festival the Peace, Love, Story Fest. And as part of growing people's awareness about peace beginning really within you, and that peace worldwide was an important goal, I decided to teach as many people as possible how to fold origami cranes. And this is what you see.
And why cranes? Why origami cranes?
Well, there's a wonderful tradition, Japanese tradition, that when you fold a crane, you are basically folding your wish into it. And I'm paraphrasing now, but the crane represents whatever your wish is. If you fold 1,000, your wish is supposed to come true. And so each person folding this crane held in their mind their wish for peace. And so these cranes actually represent each individual's wish for peace.
That's powerful. It really is. Who made them?
Well, there are 225 folks on my list. We've got wonderful people from all over the county, all age groups. We have school children. The Mothers for Peace participated. I had groups such as Old Edna out on Broad. So people from all around the county.
I remember when I did it, when you came to our Mothers for Peace meeting and we sat, and it was quite an experience because it isn't easy to fold a paper crane, and you taught us how to do it. But we got into a place of being very quiet while we were there, and everybody was really concentrating on folding their crane and writing. I wrote a wish inside of mine. I don't know, did a lot of people do that?
Well, what I asked people to do was write their name inside the crane, because the crane then became their physical representation of their wish for peace. If they wanted to also then write what their wish for peace was, then they were free to do that. But in my idea for it was simply that these cranes would become the manifestation of their wish for peace, whether they wrote it or not, because each one has a name of a person.
And how did you decide whom to ask to do this?
Well, I started just by asking friends, you know, who had businesses. Whiz Kids was one of the first ones to jump on board and host a crane folding party. The studios up at the park hosted another. So it actually wasn't difficult to find people to host them. And then we would collaborate to invite guests. And we had as few as 4 at a folding and as many as 60, depending. Yeah.
And one last question that I want to ask you is, as a storyteller, how has Fukushima affected you?
You know, it does bring me back to that original idea that the story is the most powerful way for us to impact others, to share and move them to make contributions to our situation. And one of the things that is definitely missing is that we're not hearing the stories of Fukushima. We don't really hear the stories of the individuals. I think most of us, if we think of Fukushima at all, think of it as something happened over there kind of a feeling. And we know that when we connect to individual stories and we see the faces of the people and we hear how they feel about what's happening, that then we are actually moved to make choices, to create solutions for them, to go out of our way to be a part of that.
Oh, thank you so much, Zette. We so appreciate your coming here tonight and you will be telling us a story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Linda.
Zette.
Yeah, good to see you.
You
okay.
too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.